This is a good question. What I'm going to buy when everything has topped, when everything is expensive. Precious metals are expensive, stocks are expensive, and crypto starts to become cheaper, right? Once Bitcoin is at 50 to 40K, I'm definitely going to buy it, even against the general momentum, right? Even if we are below the moving averages in Bitcoin, I'm still going to buy the bottom for dollar cost average purchases for the very long term. If everything else is up, right? So if still the stock market is up, if still property is up, if still precious metals are up, and only crypto has crashed and crypto is close to the average cost basis, then I do believe it makes sense to buy. What am I currently doing? I am heavily in cash. So that means just fixed deposits, just getting my 4 or 5% per annum. That offsets the majority of the monetary debasement. Not all of it, right? We have 6.8% monetary debasement, but it offsets the majority of it. So I do not have to be invested that much if interest rates are relatively high. So that's a major position. And then for everything where I'm idiosyncratically exposed, I simply short the market. So I'm shorting the market in Bitcoin, but I'm also looking for shorts in traditional finance. Now I try to not do too many bets on traditional finance because it's much more competitive, right? If we try to time the market in various technology stocks, it's very hard because the banks have full-time analysts that look at balance sheets all the time, that look at technical developments, that have insider knowledge potentially as well, that have their dinners with the CEOs, etc. So it's very hard to beat traditional finance, especially on the large caps. But still, right, if I try to look for a simple exposure, if I try to look at single assets that I want to be invested in, I'm just looking for short opportunities. I am looking at shorts, for example, of Tesla. I think that Tesla currently is overvalued. The fundamental business of Tesla is struggling massively. There's all of this competition by China. BYD, for example, builds a very good cars. We've got both here in Malaysia. We've got people that drive Teslas. We've got people that drive BYDs. And to be honest, I do think that the BYD cars are better. They look much nicer inside. They're cheaper. Who knows what happens long-term to those cars, but long-term, right, the build quality of Tesla isn't that great either. So Tesla is under massive pressure on the vehicle front, and so it tries to just sell the next dream. It tries to sell the self-driving cars. That has not materialized over the last, who knows how many years, right? Self-driving cars where just 1 year from now, for many, many years, it seems very similar to energy production, right? Where we had fusion just 10 years from now, and that's for the last like 50, 60 years. So it seems to never really happen because it's very hard to solve those edge cases. That's a problem. Another problem, of course, is that Tesla now tries to sell this humanoid robot game. But how much will the humanoid robot game actually play out? We have heard how it's very hard to build those hands, to have very precise hand operations. We don't see them used in factories either. There was a competitor, I forgot the name, but there's a competitor of humanoid robots that was able to deploy some robots in BMW factory in the US. But that was also just a test project that was not rolled out on a larger scale. So that's also not economical. So when we do not see yet a business model from Tesla that's already making money to a degree, that it has at least some kind of a medium-term perspective to generate positive cash flows, to generate profit, I don't think that Tesla is worth it. It's of course hard to bet on the guy that's launching rockets into space and it has built Tesla in the end. But I think Tesla is simply now just in a very complicated spot. And so that's a potential short. But of course, that short shouldn't be too big because still it's traditional finance, still it's very hard to beat, and still it's betting against one of the richest men in the planet, and maybe there might be some financial trickery and some merging with SpaceX that could rally the price again. There's all kinds of potential risks here, but in general, I think Tesla might be a potential good short. So that's what I'm trying to find, right? I'm trying to find opportunities where I'm rather delta negative to delta neutral, and if then at some point one asset class becomes cheap enough, then I am buying that asset class. And it looks like that might be crypto in the near future. It's not. Right now, the best asset class is still relatively expensive, but the momentum is on our side. We are coming down, and once we are low enough, I think it does make sense to buy Bitcoin. Start to buy Bitcoin at 50 to then afterwards potentially 40K. That's my buying range. And I've been talking about this range actually for quite a while on this channel as well.